Hello and welcome to TalkFCB and welcome back here to the channel, guys, and welcome to the match preview between Levante and Barcelona. We will be heading back to the stadium where our incredible unbeaten run came to an end, and not only came to an end but embarrassingly came to an end against this Levante side. That happened 7 months ago, back in May of last season in round 37. Will we get the revenge this time round that we desperately want? We are going to find out. We're heading into the game on top, and we plan on staying there. Kickoff will be coming to us at 8:45 local time from the Estadi Ciutat de Valencia on Sunday evening. The final game it will be of the La Liga weekend, and one that we'll want to win, put a marker down. Everybody else will have already done their job. We have got to do our job in Valencia against Levante on Sunday, and as always, you guys have been voting on the verdict for this game, and a lot of you are going for a win by 3 goals against Levante on Sunday. A lot of people also going for 2, and also very, very confident some people going for a win by 4+ goals. That would be incredible, but tomorrow, no underestimating. We know what Levante are about. We've seen that in the past. We have to perform, and we're going to do that. Elsewhere in La Liga this weekend, Real Valladolid and Atletico Madrid went head-to-head early on the Saturday, which was a highly entertaining game. 5 goals in total in this one, and it was a game where Atleti were in real danger of blowing a 2-goal lead. They were 2-0 up, Kalinic and Griezmann with the goals. Valladolid came back into it, got to 2-2, but Antoine Griezmann gave Atletico Madrid a very important 3 points with just 10 minutes to go, and Real Madrid are currently leading against Rayo Vallecano in a game at home they'd very much expect to win, which should see them in to 3rd place ahead of Sevilla, who will face Girona in the very early kickoff on Sunday morning, where they will have the chance to win and go back to that 3rd spot. But we're talking about getting revenge on Roma. A few days ago in the Champions League, of course, the draw is coming up on Monday. We all want to get revenge on Roma for what happened last season, but I know a lot of us right now, we're also thinking about Levante, thinking back to that game last season. This was the stadium where it all went wrong. Another embarrassing defeat at the end of last season. We'd won the league, yes, we'd won the league, no doubt about that, but at the same time, we wanted to go unbeaten. We were just 2 games away from going the entire league season without a defeat, and then we get completely blown apart by Levante, conceding 5 goals on the night, losing 5-4 during another humbling, embarrassing defeat in the season for Barcelona. And Levante, just like back in May, should not be underestimated. Don't go there tomorrow and think that we're going to win. Don't go there tomorrow thinking that we've got a right to win. We have got to earn the right to those 3 points. They're a team this season who've already beaten Real Madrid, and not only beaten Real Madrid, but done it at the Bernabeu of all places. They went there, they won, a victory by 2-1, and they currently find themselves sitting 7th in La Liga right now, and this is a team who are certainly capable of causing an upset. We've got to be wary of that, we've got to analyse that, we've got to know what we're up against here, and we know only too well what Levante can do. And there's a very interesting stat heading into tomorrow's game regarding the 2 teams coming together, Barcelona and Levante. We are currently top of the table, of course, and we have actually spent the most time in La Liga ahead in games. We've spent the most time in the league so far leading in football matches, which doesn't come as a complete surprise. We're top of the pile, but it's actually Levante who've been leading for the 2nd most time in La Liga this season. For a lot of their games, they've been in the lead, they've thrown them away a few times. They haven't really got all the points this season that they thoroughly deserved, which actually leads you to believe, when you look at a stat like that, how much time they've been ahead in games. They've probably been playing at an even higher level than what 7th in the league suggests. Had they had a few more wins, had they held on for a few more of those vital 3 points, they could be a lot higher in the league. They've beaten Real Madrid, like I say, and we cannot take them easy. But even when you go back to last season, obviously we've already spoken about that embarrassing, humbling defeat that we had to Levante, but apart from that, that is pretty much an anomaly when you look at the recent meetings and the overall performances against Levante in general when it comes to Barcelona. Because you look at our last meetings, and we had them at home last season, we beat them by 3-0, then there was a 2-0 away win, a 4-1 win at home, a 5-0 win at home, a 5-0 win away, a 5-1 win at home. Usually it is very very, very comfortable. When we switch ourselves on, when we apply ourselves, when we do the things that we know we can do, we can definitely beat Levante by several goals. But it's all about turning up and really knowing that, really believing you've got to go there and work hard to win. We've seen far too many times this season these kind of away games, going into them feeling like we're going to win anyway. It doesn't matter what we play like, we'll end up winning. We cannot afford to go there with that kind of attitude, or we will really come unstuck, because Levante are a good side. They've got some very good players in there. Morales is a good player. Roger is a good player. They've got some very, very decent players, and we're going to have to go there, want to win, want to work hard, and really perform at the highest level we can to get all 3 points, stay at the top of the league, and continue the good form that we're on. And of course, Ernesto Valverde was speaking in his usual press conference before the game earlier on today. He spoke about a range of things. He said specifically about not underestimating Levante, so hopefully he passes that message on in a lot of detail to the squad tomorrow. But the one thing that he was asked about in the press conference, which I thought was pretty interesting indeed, he was asked by a journalist about the consistent minutes for Sergio Busquets and also Ivan Rakitic. They said basically that Busquets and Rakitic have played a lot of games in succession without very, very little rest. And Valverde actually said, I'm aware of that. I know those two have played a lot of games. I can see that. They played against Cultural Leonesa. They played a part against Tottenham. I know they've played probably more than they should have done without any rest. But he did say that in the month of January, he believes that'll be the month where he can rotate and give these players the kind of rest they need to be at their very best at the business end of the season. So potentially, what we were talking about yesterday with regard to the Copa del Rey rotating, what kind of approach are we going to have? Potentially, Ernesto Valverde is going to rotate, he is going to give the other guys a chance, and he is going to rest our key players when we really, really need it. So hopefully, in January, when it comes to that time, Valverde sticks to his word. We see some rotation, and the likes of Rakitic and the likes of Busquets, they get that all-important rest that clearly they will need. And that does bring us swiftly on to Ernesto Valverde's squad selection for tomorrow's game against Levante. And I have to say, there are not a great deal of surprises there, pretty much as we will have expected. Ter Stegen, Semedo, Piqué, Rakitic, Busquets, Denis, Coutinho, Arthur, Suarez, Messi, Dembele, Silesen, Longley, Alba, Munir, Alenia is there, Arturo Vidal, Thomas Vermaelen, and Miranda. Both Malcolm and Sergio Roberto have been integrating themselves back into training slowly, but they haven't made the cut for this game, and they are expected to return possibly for Celta Vigo next weekend. But if we now move on to my predicted lineup, or really what I'm really hoping to see against Levante on Sunday, it seems really, really harsh, doesn't it, for Marc-Andre Ter Stegen coming back in and Silesen going out after that incredible display against Tottenham. That seems so harsh, but it's probably going to happen. Of course, Ter Stegen, our #1 goalkeeper there. Jordi Alba at left back, Semedo at right back as we expect, with Longley and Gerard Piqué there at centre half. But it's this midfield here that I really, really want to see Ernesto Valverde say, look, let's just go and do that. Let's see if this midfield can work. You've got Busquets here in a holding position. You've got Arthur Melo here who can also drop in. We know what he's able to give us from that midfield, that element of control, a bit of dynamism in there just to hold the fort alongside Sergio Busquets. And then Felipe Coutinho, the more offensive player, somebody who can create things, somebody who can break the lines, and most importantly, get the ball here to that front three. And at times, it might be something like that in midfield where you've got Arthur and Busquets dropping in, being more defensive, and then Coutinho there breaking the lines and doing what he can do from a central area, which then leaves you Dembele from the left, Messi from the right, with Luis Suarez playing as the centre forward. And going forward, that team looks electric. We have to see Coutinho integrate himself into that midfield role. That for me is where his future lies, and if he doesn't start playing there, if he doesn't start somewhere, he's never going to be able to do it. Dembele belongs in the front three, he belongs in the starting lineup, Suarez as our striker, and Messi operating here from the right. But of course, you know, he's going to come central, he's going to have an almost free role in that team. But I think that team there, it's capable of beating Levante, it's capable of scoring several goals, and hopefully there's enough solidity here and enough defensive structure to keep a clean sheet, or at least minimise the goals that we're conceding. And if we were to field that team, I would go there with a score prediction tomorrow of Barcelona 3, Levante 1. I think we're going to go away from home here to a difficult opponent in difficult circumstances. We've got bad memories, of course, of our last meeting, but I think we're going to win tomorrow, and I think we could score some goals in the process if we go with the right lineup, go on the offensive, give Coutinho that role in midfield with Dembele staying in the lineup. He's got a brilliant goal against Tottenham. Leave him there. He's confident right now. You can't be taking him out of the team. game. Not now, not in this kind of form. I'm going to go with 3-1, but leave your thoughts and your predictions in the comments down below, guys. And of course, I will see you tomorrow for the big game. Enjoy your Saturday night. I'll see you tomorrow, but until then, as always, Visca el Barça!
Barça, Barça.